What's going on, everyone? We're going to be taking a look at Tesla, one of the high-flying stocks of 2023, especially the last month and a half. Now, we need to continue to ride the bull trend until the bulls show us that they are tired and exhausted and need a little bit of a break here. Now, by no means do I think that if we pull back, the market's going all the way back to October 2022 lows. But what I'm saying is we need to be ready to take advantage fully of the downside move, along with also being ready to just continue to ride the trend if we continue to grind higher. Now, I do think as a whole, especially in tech, that we could be looking at a little bit of a pause. That's not to say that I'm just coming in and starting to short everything. I will still take those calls to the long side as long as those setups keep permitting themselves. But when we do start to show that we are breaking down, I want to capitalize on some of these back testing moves. And I kind of want to show you guys with the power of options flow and supply and demand, how you guys can kind of be ready and get ahead of the curve. Now, our upper Bollinger Band is currently sitting at 268.80. I would be looking for, if the market for the rest of the month of June wants to continue to grind sideways and continue to grind higher, that potentially maybe we get up to that 270 price target before a significant kind of pullback where we have, you know, our actual first red week that we haven't had in a long time. Now, when that comes, we need to be ready to play that downside. Now, for the short-term traders, what we would be looking for is puts below today's lows of 247. We do have next support at 238, so we potentially have a 10-point move into the next demand zone. Now, it's not going to go straight down. It could be a little bit choppy. Make sure you take profits on the way down. If we do take out today's highs of around 259 at any point in time, look for that next price target of 261. And if we do get a breakout over 261, we would be trying to target that 268 and 270. So I want to quickly pull up some options flow here, because I use options flow and seeing what the options market is kind of pricing in, especially when I'm day trading. Let's say, for example, I'm going to give you guys a very generic kind of situation here. Let's say I have an intraday pivot on Tesla of $250, where if we break that level, I see on the charts based on supply and demand, we have another 5 points in the chart before we hit the next resistance zone. And I start to see 250, 255, 260s, 260, 260 calls start to hit the flow. I get in with that move on the break of that pivot and ride that momentum. So just looking at the actual options book now, what I want to see is, do we have deep out of the money calls? Do we have deep out of the money options that are expiring near term? So if I kind of look at what's on the books now, we've got $13 million sitting at 255 strikes expiring tomorrow. Those have already printed. We've got 250 calls at 11 million that have already printed. Those 260s started to print this week here. These people are starting to get cashed out. That is $10 million sitting in premium. Those expire tomorrow. Those are all coming off of the books. Now, if I start to look down the line here, everything else is deep in the money. We got 190s, 220s, 247s. We do got a $500 call here for $4.5 million sitting at 6/21 of 2024. That's a little bit too far out for my type of taste here. I'm not going to bet on something a year out. What I'm looking for is this month, this week, is preferably in you know, the next 1 to 2 months. So the only other thing of significance that I found is look at the 623s here for 270 strikes. We've got $1.5 million. Now, it's not a lot of premium, but there is some players out there saying that potentially we could be going to 270. Why is that? Well, look at the Bollinger Band now. It's starting to curve around here. It's currently sitting at 268. So maybe if we do have a little bit of a pullback and then a bounce, maybe we get one more test of around 260, 265, 270. It's at that point where you're going to want to take all money off the table. You really don't want to be getting caught buying the top. Guys, the breakout on Tesla was here at 200, between 200 and 205. Tesla's traded all the way up to $263. If you didn't make money to the long side on a $63 move in the last month, there's something wrong. Get with me, get with Evolution Traders, go there, become a lifetime member. I'm going to teach you guys how you can see these moves happen and trust these moves and trust technical analysis before the moves actually happen. Make sure you get in the room, get into that private Discord. All the information is down in the description box below. Now, short term wise, again, I'm going to go back to short term because I am a day trader. So I'm just looking day to day. You know, our day-to-day support is going to be sitting here at 252. Anything below 252, we've got room all the way down to 248. Now you can see that today we did come down into 248. I would be looking for support between 248, 246. Here's where your short position comes. If we hold this area here below 251, you've got room to 248. You can take a scalp, okay? Make sure you take your profits there because we're more than likely going to bounce between 246 and 248. We'll get the bounce. If we do come down into this zone and we get the bounce, when we lose the 247, right? That's the short position I want. Below 247 has room down all the way to 239. That's the big one. That's where we're kind of showing that the trend is starting to change, and we need to be looking at the options flow and kind of seeing what's standing out. Now, to me, what's standing out is these July 21st $250 strikes puts for $11.5 million in premium. I like this bet here, okay? I like this bet. So if we do come down, let's say 250, 240s, and we get another bounce, and we come into the 250s, 260s, hell, let's say we even go to 270, I'm gonna love those 250 puts for next month's expirations at 250 strikes. Now, a 250 strike puts us right back down here into this vicinity. Again, those can start to pay a lot sooner. Like, you know, if we start to break the 252 tomorrow, definitely those contracts are already going to be in the money 3 or 4 points. And I would expect more traders to kind of pile into that to put those deep in the money, potentially back down to a backtest of around 238, 240. So let's kind of keep that in mind. That's where my headspace is at. Again, I will continue to ride the trend to the long side. What I'm looking for still is a break over 259, 260. Over 260, we've got room back up to 266, and anything over 266, 270. But it's for damn sure I will be taking my profits on the way back up and looking to kind of get into that downside move on the back test, because as far up as we have come in as long as it's taken, we will go down a lot quicker. Now, again, I want to make this very clear because a lot of people like to fearmonger and say that, you know, the bear is coming, you know, and we're going all the way back down. Yes, we might pull back. I don't think that we're going back to $100 on Tesla. Okay, maybe we do, maybe we don't, but I'm not saying, you know, that we're going back down to 100. I'm just saying we can potentially catch a move from the 260s, 250s, 240s down to the 230s, you know, maybe 220s. That would be a healthy, significant back test. We do got our 1 hour, 200-day moving average sitting here at 130. That would be a hell of a move. We're talking about 25, 30 points on a downside. If we can get that in a week, 2 weeks, a month's time, that's 20, 30 points in a month's time. You can make a living doing this kind of stuff. Make sure you understand your technicals. Make sure you understand your risk management. You don't want to go oversized and start just saying, hey, well, you know what? We've got people that are betting $10 million that, you know, Tesla's going to 250. And then, you know, next week, Tesla's trading at 270. You get shaken out of that position, sell for a huge loss because you're oversized, only to see, you know, July, August, we're trading at 240, and you're like, well, what the hell happened, right? So again, take it day by day, but I'm just saying you have to start noticing these things. Again, the bulls are in full control until they're not. So we need to continue to buy the dips, and we need to continue to look for those upside pivot moves until we start showing crackdown. When we start showing crackdown below daily, okay, below daily demand, which would be obviously if we start to lose the 252s, that's a daily demand zone. I would be looking for something on the short side below the 247, 246. If we start to lose 237, I would be looking for a daily close below that to potentially play us back down to 214. Now that could be a month-long trade. The stocks go down, it goes up a little bit, but we're kind of slowly grinding back into the 230s, 220s, and then we get another monster bull run to come out of summertime. I don't know, but we need to kind of be aware of the levels. Today is the first lower high close that we've had going all the way back essentially to, you know, the last month almost, right? So if we look at how many consecutive days in a row we've been higher, this is the first lower close here, even though we did still close above demand, and we did still close, you know, somewhat on the greener side of things. You know, 89 cents on Tesla is pretty much flat, but I would definitely start to look for this trade here. Now this trade here, that 247 short, is going to be absolute money. So make sure you get into that, but also make sure you understand that 237.80s, 240, you're going to have that support. So sell into that. Take your profits into that. I'm not saying, you know, that I'm going to take a short position at 247 because I think we're coming down to 214. No, I'm going to be in multiple trades down to 214. If it gets there. I'm just theoretically speaking, right? I'm not saying literally we're going down to 214. I'm saying if that happened, I'm not riding one trade. I'll be getting in and getting out and getting in and looking for a new entry. That's how I play it, right? So again, over today's highs, because bulls are still in control over that 259, 260, we have to expect that we test 261. Anything over 261, we're looking at around 268 to 270 price target. Short term, okay, short term. Again, anything through today's lows, 247, we're looking for a short-term price target of 237. I hope this video helps you guys, and I hope to trade with you guys in evolutiontraders.com. Make sure you guys get in there so you guys can learn. I'm offering one-on-one coaching. We can sit down, we can review trades, we can talk in real time via Zoom or Discord calls. You can trade with other traders. I'm providing my watch list intraday. You're getting an understanding of what I'm looking at in real time, and you're going to get 2 courses showing you how I use my particular strategy. I'll see you guys on the inside.